All right, there. Now we have that audio, and now I bet you. Hey, I bet you we now have audio. Let's do that. There we go. Now we should have audio. Let's see if we get some better responses out of that now that we're actually. Oh, technical issues. I tell you. I tell you. Let's
Audio, yay, we're
let's try that
good.
again. Oh, for some reason we have the wrong logo there. Hold on 2 seconds. This is obviously this was thrown together totally last minute. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know why I didn't. Okay, so just so everybody knows, we are waiting. Superfan Mike won't be able to join us this evening as he is out with a migraine headache. So unfortunately, we will not have him with us this evening. So I think what we're probably going to have to do is just switch between me and you, and until I can get this kind of sorted out. So tell me, how was your long weekend, Kayla? How was your family day? How was all those things?
It was good. I honestly have been just binge watching TV again. What else is new?
Oh well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong
Nothing at
with.
all. Oh no.
What are you binge watching these days?
I am on season 6, episode 10 of Homeland. It's paused on my TV right now.
Of Homeland. Interesting.
hmm
All right, and what's your overall take?
Well, the fact that I haven't stopped watching it should be a great indicator that I love it.
That does
The,
say a lot of good
the
things, I guess.
yeah, the
Yes.
first two seasons were they were interesting enough, but I think it's gotten a little bit better.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I'm just like what's going to happen? And sometimes it makes me sweat because I'm just like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah, it's when you get a good show though, right? Like you just want to watch the whole thing. I know for me that
Yep.
was Goliath. Like there's a lot of moments where I'm like, ugh. and yet lots of moments where I'm like, oh, I can't stop watching though. I really like this.
Wait, what's Goliath?
That was a show on Amazon Prime with Billy Bob Thornton as a lawyer. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
there's just so much on to watch.
I know it's crazy, right? So for everybody watching, I apologize for the black bar at the top. I'm just trying to swing it on the fly here to make sure that we can actually see both of us at the same time. Just bear with me while I kind of work on a few things in the background while we're chatting. Um, week two, we are week two back at it. I was really happy with how episode one turned out and our interview with Jamie Elizondo. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, go back and check out the conversation. Jamie is a great interview and really made me feel positive about the team. I know we talked a bit about that last week, Kayla. Did you think about it anymore after we had the conversation?
I just I feel like it's almost too good to be true with his answers and stuff, you know? Like, gosh, he just seems like such a humble, down to earth kind of dude, and that's what you want in the locker room. That and of course, like no balls to all balls to the walls, like ready to go. But at the same time, you just want someone chill and someone you can actually who's approachable. And I feel like he embodies. I'm hoping both those things. Definitely the approachable, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I have no ill will with Milanovic. I mean, I never got to see him coach on our team, so we can't really grieve something we never really had.
Right.
Um, so I just want football, man. Like, come on.
Don't we all? Don't we all? That's what we're waiting for. Let's talk. Well, actually, before I get too much into the name game, because I do want to get into that on the live stream today. Um,
Are you sure?
yeah, well, I did put bring your positive energy. That was my that's my way to get around. Please be positive. We're gonna be positive
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
But I do want to remind everybody if you hadn't already, or if you haven't already, make sure that you enter the Oilers 50-50 tonight, just because it is supporting the Winifred Stewart Foundation and the Down Syndrome Society, I think it was. Yes. And it's all, of course, in memory of Joey Moss. So you have until, I believe it's 10 o'clock tonight. If you're in the Alberta region, make sure that you enter that 50-50 and let's support people in Joey's name. I think that that's very important to talk about. So let's get into the names. Now, they the team okay, remember positive energy. Positive energy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. I think that the team announced 7 finalists for names for people to vote on. Put them in the order that you prefer. Kind of see where things land. The 7 finalists. Let's go through. I'll say all of them once, and then we can kind of go through what we think about some of them. There is the Elk, the Eagles, the Elkhounds, the Eclipse, the Elements, the Evergreens, and the Evergolds. Now, the one thing I will say that I thought was super cool was that they did have Morley Scott do a call with each of the team names. And I
Yeah.
thought that was a really smart and cool ad to have so that you could hear it and go, well, is that something that I would. Do I like that? Do I like how that sounds? Like, I thought that was kind of a neat thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I enjoyed that. I
Excellent.
mean, yeah.
And so
It's more sorry, it's Morley. Like, how could you be mad at that?
I know, right? It's Morley. Yay! More Morley all the time. We're excited about that. Um, so I don't know if the comments have blown up yet, but I'm gonna let you keep working through the
No,
comments and things.
no, no one's really said anything yet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
out of that list, what was the first thing that you thought when you saw the list?
I'm not mad.
Okay,
I'm not mad.
okay,
I'm just so freaking sick of negative everything from the past year
it's
that
fair.
this actually didn't make me upset, and I take that as a big win. And I didn't look at comments. I still haven't. I've seen a few because people will comment and then it'll pop up on my Facebook and I'm like, "Thanks a lot, guys. I didn't want to see anything, but because my friends are commenting on other comments, it's popping up."
Right.
So I know people are pissed, but what else is new? But my first thought is I'm not mad.
Okay, and that's fair.
That's a win.
That's
Yeah.
fair. I mean, I looked at the list, and I'll be honest. The first thing that went through my mind was, who in the world thought evergreens or evergolds was a good idea? Our team is green and gold. They should not be the green and gold evergreens or green and gold evergolds. I thought that was, and once I figured out what an evergold was, I'm like, I really don't want the team to be named after what looks like a fern. Like that was not high on my list. I will say, like, yeah, are we just supposed
Celebrate.
to wave in the stands? Is that what we're supposed to do? Or I don't
Where are
know.
my grades? Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, so that one, those two, I kind of ruled out rather quickly. That I thought,
and I think they're probably going to be the bottom ones.
I don't know. I keep seeing a lot of people who are saying that one of those two is their favorite.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, if that's what they like. I doubt that'll be the pick, but
Yeah,
again, I'm not mad.
right. When I read them, I thought, oh, they're just trying to point us in a certain direction that they want us to go. that
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
that was the main thought that I had. I think, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago on the pod, was that we both really like elk and eagles. Those were the
Mhm.
two that we had talked about with Mike, yourself, me. That we all thought that those were the kind of two top runners. Is that still your two top runners, or where did you find?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it would be pretty hard for me to persuade otherwise because like it's a little post-traumatic stress syndrome, like just coming from the name change itself, right? So that had to kind of like vent out. But yeah, I mean, my position still really hasn't changed. A few other ones I thought were, kind of cool. Like Eclipse just sounds rad. I don't know if it would be something that I'd want the name to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it sounds cool. And I don't know. I like how it's all a part of like nature and things that are pretty specific to Alberta.
Right.
So I appreciate that, right? And but I don't think I've changed my position very much. And I honestly am happier that it wasn't Golden Eagles, it was just Eagles. So
Okay.
that it probably still that puts me up on the number one on the number one spot, I think. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my reason that, I mean, I liked Golden Eagles. I thought that was kind of a neat thing, and change it to like a GE or whatever. Like I'd have been actually okay with that. I kind of wrapped my head around that one in the first place, but I when it came as Eagles, I thought, okay, that's okay.
Hmm.
I think the one part that I would, because I really like elk, but I want it to be elks, and I
Yeah.
understand that's not grammatically correct,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
understand, and I know that's why they're going with elk, but I want, like every other team in the league has an S at the end. I'd just like to be elks, and I think it
Yeah.
sounds closer to what we're used to, and I
Yeah.
think that it's just, I would have thought. Even in Morley's call, as much as I love Morley, when it was touchdown elk, it just
Yeah.
kind of sounded like, where's the um just throw an S. We're good.
Elk ellipses.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think the other ones, like elk hound, eclipse, elements, those totally took me by surprise. I didn't even expect those types of things to be on the list. I had a great joke with Chad, Nubian, our good friend of the podcast, where he posted, and he thought that when, like, the little descriptor that they put out where it said excellent, eventful, enormous, and all these were, he thought those were the seven.
Oh no.
And my response to him was, well, the Edmonton enormous is better than some of the other ones on that list. I mean, you
There's
know,
so much bad. No, no, enormous would just go in the wrong direction
come
real
on,
quick.
come on. Title of the podcast: Edmonton enormous. It is. I want that noise as a sound clip for the podcast for
We
other
do have
days.
some interesting comments though.
Okay, go ahead.
So Bill says Eclipse is an interesting new wave type of name.
It is. It is a.
It is
I
totally.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
And then Chris Auger, our good friend, said, "I really believe the name is already chosen. The finalists are just subject for fans to discuss."
You know what? I can totally see that. And that's what I was thinking with they're kind of trying to just point us in a way that they want us to go. And that could be elk or eagles. And the rest
Yeah,
are kind of
yeah,
like, hey, there's ideas so we can say we had fan engagement. And, right? And, but maybe they're deciding between elk and eagles. And it's like, which
yeah,
one wins out between in the votes, right?
yeah,
Like,
very likely. And Bill's comment too. The elk would completely crush that quick six horse,
well, I do like the antlers. I mean,
right?
don't we all want to be in the stands like this?
Well,
Come
as long
on.
as I keep my dad away, just so he doesn't get confused.
Yeah, I think you said that last time. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
don't want
did.
we don't
I'm
want
still concerned.
it's still a legitimate concern. How many people would show up to Commonwealth wearing camouflage?
A lot. And
And would that number be less than what shows up in it now?
less than?
Yeah, or more than, I guess I
More
should say.
than.
Would it be more than what shows up
More
in it?
than,
I
because
don't.
I would steal some of my dad's stuff.
Okay.
So that's one more.
How quickly would you buy an elk horn, like a elk? What the thing that makes the sound like an
A
yeah
call? I already have
call.
one at the house.
Seriously?
Yeah, my dad has them.
Well, then that should be the one you pick because then it's an easy transition for you. That's perfect.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be mad either way. No, I think in the long run it'll be one of those two. I find it, like I said, I find it interesting that some people are saying things like Bill was saying. Eclipse is something that is out there that's new and not ever been used, and that's kind of interesting. And I don't mind that. Same thing with elements. Like elements, I kind of I for a moment went, well, I could kind of see
Not
that,
bad.
especially with
Not
the call.
bad.
Um, because I thought that was an interesting call. On the other hand, it being that we haven't had football for basically a year and a half, I was perfectly happy to hear Edmonton lines up on the 54-yard line over and over and over again with a long pass for a touchdown. That was
Right?
great. Yeah, keep it coming,
That's all.
Morley.
Yeah. Just keep them coming, Morley. Just like make up some of your own and just record them for us.
Yeah, exactly. How many other plays can they make up to? Yeah, and I got at first I'm like, why are they using the same play? And then I'm like, oh, because you don't want it to throw off. Well, this play sounded more exciting than another. It's the same
Yeah.
play. Here's just the different name, and that was interesting. So it was a cool way to do it. I'd be curious to know when they're actually going to come up and announce, okay, here's the results, and then here's the name.
Yeah. And like I don't mind the wait just because, we have the time, so let's kind of like decide this, well, and not on a spur of the moment kind of thing, which they haven't. Luckily, like they've had, it's almost beneficial. Like one of the interviews said that we had this year to actually transition. It was
Right.
a blessing in disguise, right? Just to take the time. But I mean, this is not an easy job. This is no easy feat. And you're never going to appease the fans at this point. You're just not, because you have the camp of the name should have never have changed. The name should have changed. The name changed. I hate all of them. Well, guys, you know what? The fact of the matter is we're changing the name. Those are the choices. Get over it.
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know what else these people want at this point.
Well, I think in this particular social media climate, everybody wants exactly what they say they want.
Well, they
And
can't. So get over it.
oh, Bill has just made like 3 new gifts off of that move right there. That was fantastic. I think.
Oh, Andrew, turn your volume up a bit.
Oh, turn up my
Yeah.
volume. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week it was
Thanks, coach.
super loud. Thank you, coach. There we go. Adjusting. Um, I think the big thing for me, much like you just said, is we know it's changing. We know that it's going to be something different, and we
Yeah,
know that there's going to be lots of people. It doesn't matter what it is, but does it change the guys on the field? Does it
exactly.
does it change the coaches? Does it change where we play? Does it change the game at all?
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I mean, honestly, for me, it's like, just can you announce it already so I can buy all my crap? Because I'm gonna buy a ton of it. Like, it's what
This
I
gives you more time to save up, Andrew.
like.
Come on.
Seriously, I'm ready to go. I've been saving for a year. Give me my. Give me the name so I can get some more stuff. Like, I mean,
Just the
although I do like this one. I mean, this is a
yeah,
good one.
classic,
It's
classic.
fancy. I like that. Yeah.
I can see you at the doors at Commonwealth, just like waiting for it to open. Like,
It's like I can't I can't quite see the new stuff. Is there
yeah,
new stuff in there? Come on.
your
Yeah.
credit card there too. Like, hello,
Oh,
I'm waiting.
they already have that imprinted. Come on. We already we know that that's what it is. There's no there was no question about that already. It's just the way it is. It's like, yeah, thanks. Okay, wonderful. So, um yeah, no, I think I really do think that a lot of them I was like, ugh, but I think they're pointing us in a direction. It's going to be one of these, likely one of those top two that we already talked about,
Yeah.
and then okay, get it in and bring on the merch. I'm in. Did we have any other comments that were thrown in there?
I think just mostly kind of just thinking about like which way the direction is the team's going if they already kind of decided, just kind of stuff like that. I'm seeing Eagles and Elk are
Okay,
kind of the top contenders. I think no one I think Chris was the only one that actually came out. Oh, he just said I thought elk and elks are both grammatically correct.
okay.
Well, it's a herd of elk.
It's a herd of elk. Yes,
Yeah.
you see the elks in the difference. I think it's you see the elk in the distance, right? It's not elks in the
Yeah, it's not.
but I would again, please just go with add an S. Add an
Yeah,
S.
yeah.
Go with that. Give me some antlers. Let's go. Football
Yeah.
time. That's what I have to say.
All I can think of is Bullwinkle. I'm sorry. That's all I can think of though. Like I would just get a Bullwinkle hat and that'd be that.
There's
I
nothing
know
wrong
he's
with
a
that.
moose, but
Correct. Yeah.
that's all I can think of. When you do this, I'm like Bullwinkle.
Do I have to just put like two instead of the big? Not maybe not the big ones, just like that.
I think you look ridiculous like that. You need all of
Perfect.
them.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I looked kind of gang signy when I could see myself in the thing, so I thought maybe that's not the greatest thing to do. So back, we'll back off from that. But anyway, that's well. I mean, like I said, I hope that we find out sometime soon, and I hope that I understand that you know it's this is going to cause a rift for a while,
Mhm.
and there are people who are still want the name to be what it was. And I'm just hoping that as a fan base, as a what might be a herd, what might be a flock, what might be a whatever we want to call ourselves, um, that we can get past it and get ready to cheer our team and our guys and watch them with all of the stuff that they've done, free agency wise and otherwise, that we're ready to put some wins out on that field.
Well, this is what happens with controversy, right? Like it builds steam and it comes to a point and then you're at the precipice and then everyone is up in arms and then a few years pass and it's like, what were we fighting about again?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
I hope that's the case. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's going to be some people who just like bring it up constantly, constantly, constantly,
Sure.
but I don't think it's really sincerely about what they want. It's just kind of personal motives to keep anger inside, not so much about the team.
That could be. That could be.
Right. So it'll take some time. There's been a rift for how many years now? Just even talking about a name change and the fact that it actually did change and now that it is changing and once it's changed, hopefully in the next couple of years, it'll just be a different fan base altogether too with, now kids growing up with that name and 50 years from now it'll probably be different and hopefully never renaming again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Trust me, having to rename the podcast, I hope they never have to rename it again
Right.
because it is a ridiculous amount of work. I have a whole new respect for all the people that have to the work that has to go into to make that happen.
Oh
As
yeah.
you
And
can
the
see, as we're talking here with no logo or nothing on the screen, because that's just the way it is. That's a lot of
time
work.
and money. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we were going to have a super fan Horde and Tell this evening, but obviously that's gone a little dark for this evening. So we'll try and bring that in a couple of weeks. The show hopefully will come out tomorrow. It might be later because I'm probably going to have to put this all together. So we'll find a way to do that. But we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. Yeah, make sure you're adding us in iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio now, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're on all the spots where you can get podcasts. If you do find a spot where you're looking for the podcast and can't find it, please let us know so that we can make sure that I can do some work in the background to get it on so that you can listen. As we said a couple of weeks ago, if you want to help the show out for no cost at all, we'd really appreciate some reviews. It kind of helps build the show and bring people to where the show is. Any place that you can drop a review, we'd highly appreciate it. That would be fantastic. Um, so we'll have more this week. It'll be just you and me,
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner. We're going to talk free agency. We're going to talk a little schedule. We're going to talk, kind of what happened around free agency in the league because there was some wild stuff, quarterback trades that weren't really trades.
Is that like a pun intended though? Wild.
Maybe.
Ah.
Maybe. Oh, I don't want to get too crazy there. Yeah,
Can I just point something out though?
you
I
can.
really like the fact that I can see Fred Stamps over
Do you like
your
that?
left shoulder. Yeah, I do like
You know what?
that.
I put him there on purpose because I
Yeah.
knew how much you'd appreciate that.
Oh, golly. I do. Sincerely.
Yeah, see, I got Freddie right, wrong side, right there.
Eh,
Yeah, and then Warren, right over
yeah.
there.
Oh,
See,
classic.
and if you were to scroll, if you were to look up all the way up, I don't think you quite see it there, but Marco's up there too.
No, not quite. I
It's
don't
very
think.
important to have Marco nearby. Yeah, come on.
He's your guardian angel.
That's yeah. Well, have you seen that hair? He can fly with it. It's amazing. I love it. All right, tell everybody where they can find you online and things, Commissioner, and talk more name change and Edmonton football.
Well, a Twitter, I guess. You could
Yes.
possibly try to track me down there. We'll see sometimes. At Duchess Lombardi would be my handle.
Perfect. And you guys can join the huddle with us on Twitter. It's at the Turf District. On Facebook, it's the Turf District. There is a page and a group. And on IG, it is also the Turf District. So find us on all of those spots. We're excited to talk more as we get closer to finding out if we're going to have some football and who is going to be on the team and what we are going to call them. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will absolutely talk to you in a couple of weeks.